Hello guys, you just missed a take before because I found a little tidbit of chicken and I ate on camera and I'm like, that's really unprofessional. What want to talk to you about? This might be a vloggy thing. Uh, Working with, you know, not Loki's not a jealous god. Let me take a sip of brain juice here. This coffee. Cold coffee too. Get my little thoughts in order because I have so much to say and it's like, well, begin from the beginning, kitty, you moron. And last night after I made that video, and it kind of felt like someone didn't want that video made, but I was like really concerned. I'm like very mother henish, and people take it the wrong way, but I'm very like, if I had this weird experience, I don't know, like if you have underlying health issues, what would happen to you, so please be careful. And I went up and I was still in like a meditative state. I don't know if I had a narcotic effect from the Baileys or not, and only the gods know. And I worked with Apollo. And this morning I had a dream of Thor was there, only Thor looked more golden, more godly than normal. Usually he just comes around, he's like everyday guy. Like, you know he's Thor, you know he's a god, but he's not a god. Like, you know, like shining and glorious. But he was there like that, and Apollo was there. And Apollo looked as beautiful as Apollo normally does. And somehow, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything. Thor was to my left, and somehow I had like lightning power in the left hand, and Apollo was kind of off to my right in front of me. And I had like sun power, and we were kind of walking through this thing, and I think I got it from playing the video game, but instead of the video game world, it was like a black cavernous area, like maybe volcanic rock or something. It was really beautiful. And there was like this stack of stones that was like on the wall, and it was like leaning over and gonna fall over. And I could use the lightning, and I used the lightning in the sun to like upright it. And it was kind of like I was getting the message to, you know, to kind of like think through problems. And to kind of, you know, use God-given powers. Obviously, I'm not going to be shooting lightning bolts in real life anytime soon. And to use that instead of just trying to, like, hard-headedly make it through on my own might. And at first, I thought they meant muscular power, and I think it just meant, we all do it. I do it more than most, that we, like, kind of tap out from the gods, and we think, this is human work here. I'm doing it on my own. And no, because I think it had to do with the other channel. In fact, I woke up to a comment today, and someone said they were glad my channel was still there, but I shouldn't have called my viewers brats. And I did that a while ago, and I'm like, hey, if you are behaving as a brat, I don't care if you're 2 or 200, I'm going to tell you knock it off. Because I was used to being listened to, believe it or not, when I was a tutor. So I'm like, if I think people are being bratty and disrespectful, I'll say that. And they're lucky I said brat. If it would be adults, they would get much coarser language. You know that. And it kind of like made me so disgusted with that channel. I'm like, I'm done. Because like I had gotten games down and I just couldn't get into games and I didn't want to really do anything. And people were asking me, why aren't you doing this and why aren't you doing that? And I'm like, meh. I don't care. Like yesterday, I didn't write it down, but like yesterday for the first time in like over a year, I think, or months or whatever, I wrote down something in my head. Now, it was something in my head. It was one of those Lord of Cats stories if you're from over on DeviantArt. And I didn't have the full story, but I had something. I had like 2 actually different stories. I had like 2 different storylines. And that was progress, because I couldn't even like think to write something down. So it wasn't quite enough to like sit down and write, even though I was tempted to get up and write. And I get up this morning and the water bill would come in, and you know I'm struggling with the door, and I go and I get the water bill, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take this up. And I called them to make sure they'd be there. I said, can I pay this with check card? And she says, well, there's a charge for that. I'm like, okay. So I wrote out a check instead. I'm just like, I would like convenience for once, but I'm not going to pay you a charge I don't have the money for. So I went up and I left the check there. And there's always this guy there that, God's bless him, but he always looks kind of sketchy. He looks like he was in jail for like 40 years for some kind of ultra-violent crime, and they've just let him out. And you're kind of thankful there's this glass between you and him. He's kind of sketchy looking. And I'm always like, every time I have to leave the check with him, I'm like, dang, I hope I see my bill is paid. And then I visited with a friend, and then I went to the cafe, and I figured, well, Apollo's here, I'm very grateful, it's nice sunny days, enjoying the sun. I'll stop in, and I come in, and I smell the smell, and I'm like, no, can't be. She made chicken and waffles, y'all. Oh, chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles. I even took a picture. I'm like, chicken and waffles. And so I got this breast that she had baked already. And then she fried it up when I ordered it. And no, we ain't down south. And then she made waffles. Y'all, she put them in the toaster oven, even though they were already cooked. And she put some butter on them and gave me all this syrup to bring home, and I got like some fig jam and everything when I was up there, because I was like, I'm doing a grocery run today. That was the best chicken and waffles. I mean, I've gone out to like a proper restaurant around here that started selling them, and it's not a thing we do in the north. And I love it. I love chicken and waffles. It should be something we do up in the north, but and the store did them, and they were good, but they were nowhere as good as her chicken and waffles. Her chicken and waffles are just epic. And I almost ran up and got another order, but I'm like, no, you just bought groceries and you bought chicken and waffles out, because I decided that I would rather have the ability to get out every couple days or more than once a week to just go get like a quick, cheap fast food meal than to eat out properly. And that was close to eating out properly, because it was like chicken waffles. It was good. And I knew it had to do with working with Apollo, because had I not worked with Apollo and not felt the need to be prompt and orderly and go up and pay this, I wouldn't have had that experience. With Loki, we just kind of lays around, and we'll get to it when we get to it. He's not Mr. Prompt Snappy, get to it whenever. In fact, even Ogu, surprisingly, can be kind of laid back, be like, do it when you're ready. And I really wasn't ready today. I was dog tired, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be prompt and orderly for once, even though it's not like me. This is the day it came in, I'm going to go pay it. So, even though I was dragging around town, I got this delicious chicken and waffles. Got some fig jam, some cheese, some bread, and the bread was discounted. I'm like, I don't care how old that bread is, are you kidding? So it was really, really an interesting experience. And then I was watching a thing on Apollo from astrological point of view, because somebody asked me once, how do you know who your god is according to, astrology? Now, some people go by the ruling planet, and most people will tell you, since I'm Gemini, I'm ruled by Mercury. But I found a page the other day that's like, no, it's Apollo. Apollo rules Gemini, and I'm, yeah. And I said, and I thought about for a while, I'm like, it makes sense, because he is a god of the arts. He is a god of music. He is a god of inspiration. But, he's also, he has many sides to him. He's complex, but yeah, he's orderly. And I ain't never met an orderly, organized Gemini. We're kind of scatterbrained. We'll be like, oh, look, a puppy. It's like we all have the same, Gemini attention span, which is nothing. Oh, look, puppy. Because I'm watching, I have my door open, and this beetle keeps landing on it and crawling and going away. and then coming back. And I keep watching that while I'm talking to you because I'm like rapidly fascinated by this thing outside. But it was interesting, and it kind of gave me like a deeper understanding of Apollo. But this also, to finally get to Loki, has given me a deeper understanding of Loki, because Loki's been like, you know what? I hate to break it to you, but I can't do everything of everything. What have I been telling you about working with other gods? I'm like, oh. So Loki has been the one to be there and reassuring me, being like, it's okay to work with Apollo. It's okay you were working with Apollo and Thor in the Dream. It's okay to work with Apollo because he's the god of medicine, and to work with him to heal through stuff. I think the bad experience was like some serious blockage coming out that I don't know what it is. And I spoke to Apollo about it, and Apollo was like genuinely surprised. He's like, that was not supposed to happen. And you guys know me. Sometimes I seem to trip through the parameters that are set up there. I don't do it on purpose. And he was like, that was really not supposed to happen. No, I didn't start doing prophecies. I cannot tell you what's going to happen in your life. I don't want people thinking, oh, you know. But I tripped through some kind of barrier that's supposed to be there. And I think the bad experience was, I was not seeing a negative aspect of Apollo, but seeing like more of a, I don't want to say behind the scenes. It's impossible to describe, but where I wasn't supposed to be. And Apollo straightened that out. Apollo's like, okay, before you get it into your head to explore back here, or wherever I was, you are going to. I'm rectifying this. I'm horribly, terribly sorry. And then he's like, you know, it is an honor, though. I'm like, terribly, horribly sorry, but, you know, people would have considered it an honor to have Apollo do something like this. And I was honored, and I was honored he was working with me, paying attention to me, but I'm like, wherever I went, whatever I saw, and I didn't, like, see anything in my mind's eye, but it got a sense, like, I really shouldn't have been there, wherever it was, and it wasn't like I was sitting still when this happened. I was in bed, but I don't know. But it was kind of like Apollo doing the best he can now, not to besmirch a god, without me being in an ancient temple, without me having a priest and a priestesses were called pythonesses, I believe, or however they call them, but they, you know, it wasn't like I became instant priestess of Apollo, or I became priest or healer or whatever, but it was this unexplained thing where instead of having people to do the work for him, because, you know, I can't get out and go to a fair or something and find some priestess of Apollo, he was doing what he does, and I apparently stumbled backstage or something. I hate quoting Gaiman, but that's what it felt like. And it was good, because this morning I woke up and I was back on the right side of the veil, so to speak. And it just felt good, could feel that sun power coming through. And I was watching that video on him. It said, you know, partially depression and feelings of loneliness and stuff like that. It can be, and take it with a grain of salt, it can be being disconnected from that sun power. It doesn't mean everybody go out and worship Apollo and your life will be peachy keen, but it does mean to, you know, kind of do the work to get reconnected to your creative side and to your own self-worth, which, you know, is the total opposite of what's in vogue now. And what's in vogue now in paganism is, like, totally lose your self-identity, you're part of the hive, blah, blah, blah. And this is, no, you are the individual, you have to accept your own power, which is how paganism used to be. And you have to connect with your power, connect with your creativity, and connect with stuff. And it was very timely, because I've seriously been thinking of I've been waffling quite a while, seriously thinking of totally letting the other channel go, because it's like with the writing, I don't do it anymore because I could not feel creativity at all. I mean, I could sit down and look at the computer all day, it wouldn't work. But I was able to write a short story in my head at least last night, like a little bit here and a little bit there, not the whole thing. And that was progress. It doesn't mean I think that I might get back into writing, but it means maybe that creative side is coming back, but I'm still not ready to be on that channel. It's not like in the good days when I was doing that channel, I could not stop myself. Like, the creativity would just flow. And now it's like the creativity and the passion isn't there, so I think I have to slow down, completely stop. I know it'll lose me all the subscribers on the channel, but it's like I have to slow down, I have to stop. There's nothing worse than trying to force your creativity, your viewers can tell, and just let that part of me kind of wake up again. Maybe more work with Apollo, and just to be clear, I work with Apollo because I love him. I don't believe in work with a god, get what you want, walk away. I think that's what goes wrong for a lot of us, because, you know, you should form an emotional connection to your gods. And, well, that's my thought. I'm sure a lot of people are different, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And it's a beautiful sunshiny day. And I'm sorry, I keep staring out at the door because I usually have that door closed, but I was like, to honor Apollo, I'll have the door open and let the sun shine in. And, not sit here like a vampire and be like, sun, but, yeah, I know that was really rambly. I still feel the effects of having done the meditation. I still feel like I'm in this meditative state, and I've had caffeine. So it's like, it's kind of like a blessing. Of course, it could be dizzy from allergies. Who knows? I mean, the practical side of me comes in and is like, yep. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I know this was kind of random and spacey, but I'm still in that random spacey area yet. And, yeah, it's a nice place to be, but it's, like, kind of hard to, like, collate your thoughts too. So I will see you guys later. Bye bye.